The wood in the photo is like a dark. You can take tape and wrap it. Test tubes back in, and then you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey.
And my name is Becky.
And we're the TheSorryGirls.
And welcome back to a little series that we love to call DIYing your DMs.
If you guys don't know, it's a series where you send us your DMs.
Your DIYs.
DIYs that you want us to DIY in our DMs.
So if you want to be a part of this episode or any future episodes, well, not this one, it's too late. If you want to be a part of any future episodes, make sure you follow us on Instagram at TheSorryGirls, and you can send us your DIY requests in direct messages.
Today we have 3 very cute projects that we're going to tackle, including one very large, epic, cool, still easy DIY.
All right, let's get started with the first one.
Let's do it.
So this first DIY was DM'd to us by Kira, and this is a little propagation station. That rhymes really well. So if you don't know what this is, if you have any plants like a pothos or something that produces a lot of leaves, you can trim it, put it in some water, and it will regrow roots, and then you can plant it in another pot and essentially make 2 plants from 1 plant. It's amazing, infinite plants, here for it. How we're gonna do this is out of several little test tubes and a piece of wood. I have these super cute baby, well, regular size, I guess, test tubes that we got off Amazon. I will link them below for you. And then also, I have a little piece of 2x4 pine wood. This is literally only a couple dollars at the hardware store, so this is gonna be a really affordable DIY to do as well. So first up, I'm gonna measure out how far apart I want the tubes to be and do little dots on my wood, and then I can trim it to the right size. So each test tube itself is about 5/8 of an inch, and then I want to give a 3/4 inch gap in between each one. I'm going to start by measuring 3/4 of an inch out, then followed by 5/8 of an inch, followed by another 3/4 of an inch, followed by another 5/8, and go all the way to the end until you have 6 5/8 marked out for the test tubes to go. So basically 1, 2, 3. And then I left a final 3/4 inch gap at the end as well. And in total, my whole thing is about 9 inches. So you should end up around there if you're doing it the same way I am. So we'll ignore these marks for now and just chop the whole thing at the 9-inch mark. So I added a line down the center just so I know exactly where the center of the top is. So when I drill my holes, I can do them kind of all in a nice row. So that brings me to the next step, which is actually drilling the holes. So I have a spade drill bit here that is 5/8, the same size as the test tubes. So I'm just gonna take the drill and drill holes into it to create something that actually kind of looks like our fancy drill bit holder that we made years ago. So ahead of the trend, guys. So a little tip is if you're drilling holes and you're not going all the way through something and you wanna know where to stop, you can take tape and wrap it around your drill bit. You'll know once the tape hits the top of the wood to stop drilling, and then all your holes will be the same depth. So I'm gonna do about 1.5 inches down into the wood, and then we can put our test tubes in. So the trick to this working really well and easily is to make sure that you stop drilling every couple 1/2 inch and make sure you dump out any sawdust before you keep going. That way it'll prevent the wood chips from getting clogged in there and maybe even starting a little baby fire in there. We wanna be safe.
Test that test tube.
Yeah! And repeat. And once all my holes were drilled, I just took a power sander and sanded the whole thing smooth. So now we have something that looks like this, and it's so soft and beautiful already, but last step is to stain it a matching color to the photo. So the wood in the photo is like kind of a dark red color.
I just realized you're like a beauty guru.
I'm gonna use the color English Chestnut and rub it deep into the crease. Blend it out well, ladies. And once the stain was dry, you can add all your test tubes back in and fill them with water and add all of your plant clippings, or really, you can put anything cute in these that fits. That was so easy, turned out so cute.
So this DM request was sent in by Alice, and she wanted us to DIY this faux leather woven headboard. This doesn't look too difficult. It is a metal frame, but we decided we could get that gold metal frame look by just using some wood and gold spray paint. So the 2 main things we picked up to do this are 2 1x2 inch by 8 feet pieces of pine wood and 4 yards of faux leather fabric. And this did add up, but it's still like a lot cheaper than a normal headboard would be. So my first step is to measure and cut on my pine wood, and then cut them using a miter box, which means that I can get that angled cut. So I've mitered cut my pieces. Basically, you just need to make sure that your angles are like making a short side and a long side and not like a trapezoid. You want it to go like this and not like this. And now I'm just going to prime them and paint them gold. So I'm back with my gold pieces. They looking shiny. They looking kind of more metal than wood, I think.
They're literally like blinding the camera.
Oh, sorry.
That's how shiny they are.
So my next step is to put together my corners and wood glue them, as well as use these little picture frame corner brackets. Well, they're not picture frame corner brackets. They're corner brackets, but we got them off of a picture frame because we thrifty AF from one of our DIYs where we just needed the glass. We kept these. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll move on to the fabric. So we have our frame here. It looks good. So you can use this frame technique for like any kind of frame that you need to build. But to continue, we're going to use our faux fabric that we picked up from the fabric store and start cutting strips. So we're gonna need 7 horizontal strips that go the length of the headboard, and we're gonna need 14 vertical strips that go the height of the headboard, I guess. Plus a little bit more for the overhang because I'm going to loop it around the back and then use a stapler to hold it into place. So I cut out 7 strips of my faux leather that are 69.5 inches by 3.25 inches, and I cut out 14 of my faux leather strips that are 36 inches by 3.25 inches. So now that I have that all done, I can go ahead and add it to my headboard frame. To do this, I'm going to space them out evenly, wrap it around the back, and then use a stapler to hold them in place. Since this is pine wood, the staples go in super easily. And you don't need a fancy staple gun, which I thought we were gonna need, but we don't. Yay! Once all of my horizontal strips are done, I'm going to take my vertical strips and I'm going to add them to the one edge of the frame, weave it in and out through the pieces that are horizontal, and then attach it around the side, and do that with all 14 strips. So now that our frame is all woven together and looking great, our last step is to add on some kind of like picture frame holders. You can go to the hardware store and buy them like we did, or you can use your reused picture frame that you also used your corner brackets from and steal them off of that. I just love being so thrifty. So we're gonna attach these at the sides at the top, and then just using 2 nails or 3M sticky hooks if you're just showing this temporarily to your friends and YouTube channel. And just hook those onto some hooks or nails that is behind your bed. So we styled this headboard with my bed. It looks so freaking good. I think it looks so similar to the DM that Alice sent us. And we ended up using a lot less of our fabric. So I said we bought 4 yards, but we will link the exact amount that we used on our blog. So make sure you're checking out www.TheSorryGirls.com for more details.
So this last DIY was DM'd to us by Bina, and it is this gorgeous double ring belt. I don't know exactly where her image came from, but I actually have one pretty similar to this. It's from Urban Outfitters, so I'll link it below if you don't want to DIY it. If you do, keep watching. So the pieces I picked up for this is this plain black belt from the thrift store and these 2 harness rings from the hardware store. They actually look exactly like it, which is great. So I was thinking about how to do this. It's deceiving because the picture looks really simple and easy, but I think it's more complicated than that. First thing is going to be taking this clip off this belt. Okay, I have this little belt buckle off. Now my first thought is that I need this bar in the little middle bit to make a belt work, so I'm gonna try and cut this bar off with the little middle piece and then attach it to the rings to make a new belt buckle. I'm gonna use a hacksaw, but this does look like pretty tough metal, so we'll see.
Okay, thing is stuck in there,
You have to saw your way out.
but I can't. No. Okay.
This came apart with the little saw so much better than I thought it would. I thought I'd have to be there forever, but I guess that's what you get with cheap metal, which made my job a lot easier. So I'm now gonna use this bar, and what is this piece called?
Tongue? I want to say tongue. It probably has a weird name like Venus.
Weenus? I feel like I wouldn't be doing my duty as a tutorialist if I didn't know this. It's called,
Tongue.
I think so. That's gotta be it.
Yeah, girl. You're welcome.
We'll go with that. This bar and tongue is gonna be attached to one of the rings to create essentially just a brand new belt buckle. And then additionally, we're gonna add this kind of as just like a fancy accessory to make the double ring effect. To attach this all together to make the new belt buckle, I'm gonna use this stuff called steel stick, which we've used before. It's really cool. Essentially, you warm it up and you stick everything together and it solidifies like metal. So I'm gonna do that and attach it all together and let it dry. Section off a small amount. This stuff dries really quickly, so only take as much as you need at a time. Knead the putty together until the dark gray and the light gray combine to make like a medium gray color. That's how you know it's mixed. And then apply it to where you want to join your metal pieces. So this is totally dry now, and this is what it's looking like so far. It's a little bit gluey, but it's totally hard. So I think I'm just gonna use some sandpaper and try and sand down the chunkier bits, make it look a bit neater. And I'm actually gonna sand the whole thing a little bit because I'm gonna spray paint it, and that will help the spray paint stick better. And now that it's done sanding, I'm just going to add a primer and then a gold coat on top. Primer is really good to make sure that your paint doesn't chip off. My little belt buckle is all painted and dry. And lastly, I'm just gonna re-loop the little tongue back through the hole in the leather belt and then fabric glue it all together. So this is how the belt looked once it was all dry together and I did it up. Honestly, it looks pretty good, I'm gonna be honest, very Gucci. But I will say that since it's spray paint on metal, there is a chance that over time it could chip. So, maybe you wanna consider buying this instead of DIYing it, but hey, if you guys wanna DIY, I won't stop you. Thank you so much for watching this episode, guys. If you really like this idea, make sure you check out the last episode we did. It will be linked below.
And if you guys want us to DIY your DM DIY ideas, make sure you follow us at TheSorryGirls, and you can send us your ideas in our DMs.
And then make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss when that episode does come out and maybe you're featured.
Yay! If you like this video, make sure that you give it a like.
If you love it, make sure you sub it.
And we'll see you in all of our other videos because we upload usually 3 times a week, plus our vlog channel. Are you following our vlog channel? I know the vlog fam is.
Oh my God.
So follow us there too. Okay,
bye.
Thanks, bye.